And we need to put people in Washington who believe that. And it's not just within your district, it's throughout the country. And so what I would ask you to do is look throughout the country and see where you think you can make a difference, not just here, but elsewhere. Let me talk a little about the importance of energy in America, because energy drives this economy. It drives everything we do. Most people don't think about it because we're so spoiled with it. Some people say, well, what do we need oil and gas for? We got electricity. I'm telling you, people say that. It's like one member of Congress in the hearing said, asked one of the people testifying, well, why didn't you drill the relief well first? You know, energy drives this economy, and the key component of energy, the bulk of the energy supply in the U.S. comes from oil and natural gas. Oil and natural gas provide well over 60% of the energy in today's economy. And if you look at virtually every credible forecast out there, it's going to provide about 60% of the energy in the next 20 to 25 years. So how can we have any kind of energy policy that doesn't promote and support the development of our resources here at home? Renewables are great. We think renewables are important. But wind and solar are such a small part. In 25 years from now, they're going to be bigger, but it's still going to be a small part. We need to look at the whole picture and have an energy policy that makes sense, not an energy policy that's driven by a particular constituent. So let the market decide. Let's not legislate winners and losers. I mentioned this earlier, is what we call an American treasure. We have recently discovered through technological advances the natural gas supply here in the U.S. that can power this country for over 100 years. It is larger than the oil that Saudi Arabia has. We are the Saudi Arabia of natural gas, and we need to develop those resources. We need to have policies that encourage that and advocate it. It's ours. I'm going to skip the policy issues and let Congressman Brady talk about that. And to the extent we want to get into some of the detail, we can do that in questions and answers. But just kind of to finish up, you know, oil and natural gas and energy are so essential to our country. They're essential to our American way of life. They create jobs. Those jobs ripple throughout the country. And they're fundamentally important to national security. You know, you hear people talk about energy independence. I don't like those words because I don't know that that's feasible, quite frankly. But if you want to talk about energy security, that's really, really important. We need to have this country less reliable on foreign sources, not more reliable. And to do that, we need to promote the development of American companies developing American resources. I'm going to turn it over to Congressman Brady to be sure that we kind of stay on schedule. Looking forward to questions and answers, so please fire them up. I'll be ready for them.
Okay, so part of our duo here is Congressman Brady, who issued a press release a couple weeks ago and had a notable quote here. By thumbing their noses at the federal courts, the Obama administration appears determined to shut down drilling in the Gulf of Mexico. He called it like he saw it, and he continues to do that in Washington. And for that, we are very grateful. So let's hear what Congressman Brady has to say.
Well, thanks, Captain, obviously, for the invitation to be here tonight. It is nice to see friendly faces again. One, let me... yeah, a lot more friendly. Thank you for what King Street Patriots does and are doing, bringing the Constitution back to America and taking this country back. But also, thank you for what you do to recognize heroes like Sergeant Edward. There's a lot of ways to show you care, from your prayers, just wishing the best for a marriage full of love and joy and happiness. But Eddie really is amazing. I've got to know him over the last month or so. But you want to know what kind of hard charger he is? Catherine and I saw him propose to Cody on a Monday. On Sunday, I opened the paper and he's married. What a leader. It's been 2 weeks. Do you have kids in college yet? Or just slowing things down? Wow. It's pretty amazing. Well, we wish you the very best, and you're a very special couple. And I appreciate Bruce Vincent being here at IPAA. Has been a real leader to try to explain. Lawmakers in Congress, I'm not sure they understand the difference between oil and natural gas. They certainly don't. Now they're overnight experts on offshore drilling. I'm not sure they understand the difference between the majors and the independents, between exploration wells and appraisal wells. I don't think they understand a bit on how tough it is. The money you invest, the entrepreneurial spirit, the technology, jobs, the capital equipment it takes to produce oil in America. IPAA does a great job explaining it. But I have to point out to you, Bruce, you know the story about the beaker? If that were Washington, D.C., Democrats would tax the rocks, regulate the pebbles, claim the sand coming from the stimulus, and redistribute the beer, which is really... really offensive. Really offensive. Fighting words for the most part. You asked the question, is the moratorium just beginning? And the answer is yes. Absolutely is just beginning. You ever seen these base jumpers who jump off buildings and skyscrapers and antennas and all that? You notice they have a backpack on the back, but they're holding something when they jump. It's called the pilot chute. And his job is that they catch speed, they throw it out there, it catches air, and pulls the rest of the parachute out with him. The drilling when it comes to stopping the production of oil and gas in America, the moratorium is the pilot chute. And with it is going to drag a lot of legislation. They're going to use this as an opportunity, the BP spill as an opportunity, I think, to drive a dagger through the heart of oil and gas production in America, in my view. The moratorium, as Bruce said, is damaging enough. Rigs are already starting to leave this coast, the Gulf, and they won't be back anytime soon. 2 have left for Egypt and the Congo. It ought to be a red flag when energy companies leave for West Africa looking for a stable government. Probably ought to tell you something. But with those rigs, we don't know how many will go. I think many of them are fighting to stay here, but every rig that leaves takes with it American jobs, American equipment, American capital, and in the end of the day, American energy. And the moratorium itself is so damaging. And I will tell you, if you listen to small businesses who are tied to these rigs and to the Gulf, and as Bruce said, this moratorium, this stop to energy production isn't just in deep waters, it is in the shallow waters. It is small and mid-sized and independent companies along with the majors, all of whom are creating U.S. jobs, good old-fashioned American jobs, good old-fashioned American energy. And they're fighting to survive, but what you get, every rig that leaves has got around 1,500 workers tied to that rig, but they'll have 1,000 vendors selling products or services. And those small businesses will tell you, they already, like Blackhawk Specialty Tools told us, in the first month of moratorium, we laid off 20% of our workforce. This month, we'll lay off 50% of our workforce. And the question that the owner of that company, small business, started 3 years ago, has 50 workers, trying to expand, now doing just the opposite. And his question was a great one. How many businesses do you know that can survive 6 months without any revenue? Not many. Certainly not small and mid-sized businesses, and that's where we are today. We have challenged the administration, the White House, to end the moratorium. 3 weeks ago, I invited the President to come to Houston to meet with our energy workers and our businesses.